by the way. Really, what had happened on 16 is, you know, the USGA had let us know early on in the week that they were going to be moving tee boxes around. That golf course is plenty long. They were going to jockey the tee boxes and told us to be prepared to play our practice rounds from different sets of tees. Well, we had played that hole all the way back. What was it, 670 yards?
670, yeah.
670, which, quite honestly, I've never played a good par 5 over 600 yards. I can be quoted on that all you want. I've never played a great par 5 over 600 yards. I've played a good one. But I've never
What's
played a
wrong with
great
it
one.
being 670?
Well, I
It's
think
one size fits all. Everyone's hitting too long a shot into the third.
Well, I think what makes a good par 5 or an exciting finish is a reachable par 5, is a risk-reward type of hole.
But they had that on 17.
It's not a good hole either way. 17 is maybe the only bad hole of the Olympic Club.
Oh, okay.
As a par 4 or a par 5, it's really not. It's too short for it to be a par 5, and it's too awkward a second shot, a drive, and a second shot too short. The green doesn't match it as a par 4.
But back to 16, I told Jim today, just to pander to him and suck up, I said, that tee was BS, man. Is all the way up to what, 560? He was hugged to the left.
It was 99 yards ahead of where we had teed off, and which really isn't a big deal other than the drive curves severely, you know, the landing area.
Yeah.
So you move us up 100 yards, no one was prepared for it.
Nobody knew. It was like a trick question.
I had heard in the morning
nowhere.
before I went to the range that, hey, guys were coming in saying, I can't believe where 16T was today. I had no idea where to hit it. And I said, where was it? And I said, it was 100 yards up.
And to the
So in
left.
your mind, you're trying to figure out, 100 yards, what would I play? And, I got there, I looked out in the fairway, I talked it over with my caddy. Where do you think? It wasn't, usually we have a number. It's 285 through the fairway at that tree. Now I've got an idea that I have to be left of that tree. Here I said, hey, I know we have no numbers. What do you think? And I told him where I was thinking about hitting it. He said he agreed, maybe a touch right of that. We were close, in the same area. But I never really, the history was I had missed it out in the right rough the 2 previous days. One day I made par, one day I made bogey. The right rough was dead. I'd heard that most of the guys missed it out to the right. It was better than where I hit it, but it was not good. And so I was kind of, hell-bent in my mind that, all right, I'm not going to leave it out to the right again. Go ahead and commit, hit a nice hard draw. But I think really the indecisiveness of not exactly knowing, in every other shot I hit pretty much that week, I knew exactly where I wanted to put the ball and committed to that shot. And here I didn't know exactly. It leaked into my mind. And I think what my dad saw wasn't quick because we were on the clock. It was quick because I was indecisive.
Right.
I went through my routine a little bit fast, and I made a very quick, very fast swing. And resulted in that quick hook. But
Now, your dad,
I really didn't lose a tournament.
No, you were still very much in it. Now,
Yeah.
17, I didn't ask you about this. You hit 4-iron, I believe?
Yeah.
Tried to get 4-iron up there into 17 and up short. He got announcers, Johnny Miller. He knows everything. At least he thinks he does. He didn't think that was enough club. It didn't turn out to be. Was it?
I didn't hit it perfectly well either. Where I struggle a little bit, this is going to sound funny. Callaway and their irons, if you notice, their grooves are a lot different than most companies. They have
Blaming the equipment maker. Blaming.
not blaming, but small grooves. And what they do really well is they spin really well out of the rough, especially out of the shortcut. And I'm used to getting the ball to jump. Well, 8 out of 10 times, I would love that ball to spin out of that shortcut and control it.
Didn't quite jump.
That was a shot that I wanted to try to make jump.
Right.
I caught it a touch, was sitting up a little bit and fluffy in that rough. I caught it a touch high in the face, which it won't jump in that case, and it came out spinning and got caught in the wind and came up short.
And that was a tough bunker shot because it was like, what, a good 20-yard bunker
More
shot?
than that, it was probably
30?
That pin was probably on 20. It was a little over 30 yards, and I caught it a little fat.
And you had about a 20-foot birdie putt. I thought, because you guys have been on the clock, I thought that you took less time over that putt than you normally do, as if you're like, okay, let's hurry up, even though it's a 17th hole.
I think I had a lot of time to watch Graham at that point.
Okay.
And I knew where I wanted to hit it. I knew what type of putt I wanted to hit, and felt good over it. I just didn't hit it. I didn't hit it hard enough. And
Right.
That green has a lot more pitch to it than it looks. It is a lot faster. Remember the day before, I blew a putt from the back fringe way by the hole, made it to the back. and I just, under the heat of the gun, didn't really remind myself to get to the hole.
And then 18?
Well, leaving the 4-iron off the tee into that right shortcut with an awkward angle to start with. So now I'm hitting from the right side to a front left pin, which anything long there is going to catch that bunker.
Right.
You know, Graham didn't have as good a lie as I did. I had a really kind of up lie where I felt like I could spin the ball. Graham had a down lie, pretty much played the shot he had to the center of the green. And, you know, I had two choices. I could play a safer shot to the center of the green like he did, or try to stuff one in there tight.
Right.
And I decided because I had a good lie, I didn't really want to leave the chance of trying to knock in a 20 or 25 footer. I wanted to try to hit the heroic shot and stuff it in there. And I tugged a little bit, and it played, to be honest with you, it played a touch shorter than I thought. I hit it a little long and buried the bunker.
One thing I always wonder, and it's a dumb question, but I just would love to ask.
So they're my favorite, actually.
Yes, this is really dumb. Do you get nervous?
Sure.
Down the stretch?
Absolutely.
And how do you handle those nerves? How does every tour pro handle the nervousness of?
Not everyone does, to be honest with you. Some guys never get used to it. Some guys struggle with. I hear guys, young players come out, and I remember one guy. He actually now works radio for XM.
Poor guy.
works XM radio, but I remember early on, it was Johnny McGinnis, who's a good friend of mine. I did his show early last week, and he played real well his first tournament out. He came out, I think he finished 7th in his first event out in Hawaii. And afterwards, there was a couple guys at a pub, and we were having a burger and a beer, and he walked in, and we told him to come over and sit with us. He's a great guy, he's a lot of fun. And he said, I don't know how you do it. He goes, I was sweating, I just kept thinking about the money. Like, I put on Nationwide for all these years, we didn't make any money. He goes, now, all of a sudden I've got putts that are worth, $50,000, $100,000, and that's what I used to make in a year out there. And he goes, how do you do it? And I said, John, I never really focused on the money. I always focused on, I'm in 8th place now, and if I knock this putt in, I'll be in 5th. And then once I get to 5th, if I knock this putt in, I'll be tied for 3rd. And
right.
It's always been about pride and wanting to move up the leaderboard. I never really sat over a putt saying, wow, this putt's for X amount of dollars. And really, even when I won the FedEx Cup, I never thought about it. It was about winning.
After a big one like this gets away, how long does it stay with you? How do you cope with that?
A lot of it's with the circumstances and how everything worked. I was pretty upset with myself and down, and I think that night, we kind of, my wife and I had a choice the night before, flying to Red Eye or staying the night, going Monday morning, and she actually had some board meetings on Monday to get to, and she said, I'll do whatever you want. And I said, well, it really doesn't matter to me because I'm not going to sleep either way. And she said, what do you mean? I said, well, if I win the tournament, I'm not going to sleep because I'm happy.
Right.
And I'm just going to go over the shots, and I said, I'll never make it to bed. I said, if I lose, I'm not going to sleep because now I'm going to run every shot through my mind and try to figure out what I could have done better. I said, so basically what I'm saying is I'm not sleeping tomorrow anyway. We can do whatever you want. And we got the red eye, and I had a flood of texts and emails that I kind of read through on the plane, and we had some dinner. The kids in Tabitha went to sleep, and I kind of sat there and staring at my phone and trying to figure out exactly how everything happened, what went wrong. And it lasts, it's probably stings for 2-3 days. And the issue is, the hard part about putting something behind you is I can do that very quickly. I think, if I were like, a lot more athletic and stronger and faster, I could have been a cornerback. I got the short memory. Athletic being the key part of that one. But the forgetting and putting it behind me and not affecting the next event is really easy for me.
Right.